everyone. It is now 9 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, August 2nd, 9 a.m. Commissioner Tony Haas, would you please give us an invocation?
Yes, sir. Dear God, thank you for another day and for the week ahead. Guide us every step of the way. Forgive us our sins and keep our families free from disease and harm.
Amen. Commissioner Lopez, would you please lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Roll call, Mr. Torrecap.
Commissioner Hess.
Here.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
I'm here. Approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. Consideration of Section 2, consideration of minutes, regular meeting minutes from June 21st, 2022. Any questions, Commissioners? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of June 21st, 2022.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. Go to Section 3, a reading of correspondence, Commissioners' Committee reports. Commissioner Luis Lopez, would you like to go first?
Yes, thank you, Chair. On the 22nd, July, we had the front range passenger rail meeting, members, and we're in the final stages of securing the bylaws and the protocol. So there's some difference between the two that we're going to get some clarification on, and by the next meeting we should have these bylaws adopted and moving forward. The question remains the fact if the pass-through rail is going to be continued through Trinidad with the Southwest Chief, and also the alternate route to Pueblo that has not yet been determined, which could lead to some possible concerns regarding the meeting we had last Thursday with the TPR and the announcement of Mayor Rico discussion and Councilman Williamson's discussion regarding the multimodal center of how that moves forward. It was a nice presentation they gave to us, and look forward to it. We just got to make sure that the Southwest Chief still comes to this area so we can utilize that multimodal to its full capacity if we get to that point these days. But I'm going to advocate wholeheartedly and very dedicated myself to keeping the Southwest Chief in our area. We really need to have that train coming through here. So we are right at the end of the road with the bylaws, we're getting moving forward with that, and then we can start really get to work. Once those things are established, the district can move forward with start planning, infrastructure, discussions, negotiations with all these communities moving forward, how we want to move forward. If there is going to be a vote on a taxing district whatsoever. On the 28th, we had the TPR meeting, like I just mentioned, and there was some recommendations of possible changing the 10-year plan or amending it, which CDOT was, and you both were on the call, were probably not in favor of doing so at this time, due to the fact because there's not a lot of funds available. However, we can adjust that for the future plans of adding some of that money available for a multimodal station. And what the city of Trinidad was looking at was the commercial property of FL and J&J Motors, possibly move forward acquiring that, which would be a great location. It would be right there by the train station, right close to downtown. So I think it's on the right path, and I like to see that come to fruition as well, and do everything we can to assist in getting that accomplished here, moving forward. The rest of the projects for the state or for our region were also discussed. I'm still trying to find the money, especially one of our big concerns the Commissioner has mentioned, the bridge up Highway 12, which is a big concern for us for our restricted bridge that we need completion for our heavy equipment and trucking and stuff moving up and down noon, and we had a lot of great reports from our directors. I do have a bit of bad news for the county regarding the food program for the care and share and the commodities. It looks like Council of Governments, Veronica Mays, and the AAA program will be reluctantly having to stop that program come the first of the year. So we're going to have to advocate to look for another nonprofit to manage and operate that function for our community moving forward. So we'll probably have to start putting our brains together and soliciting different organizations. And the reason why is they just don't have the time. Council of Governments is, and the AAA program has been running that, is we're in the stages of creating a new facility or an additional facility in the Huerfano County region for a senior center. And that's going to be taking up a lot of the time for Ms. Mays. Veronica has been boots on the ground type person for this program since they took it over 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And she's pulling away from her responsibilities as the director of the AAA program, and that started to lack now for her duties and responsibilities for that organization. And so the discussion was made between herself and her fellow directors, and Ms. Oliver, the director of HOG, and the decision was made. There also is going to be a new fee structure presented to the board and to the other entities, the city of Trinidad, Walsenburg, Huerfano County, allocating funds to Council of Governments moving forward. There was some issues that we have had as a county over the years, and we're finally able to recoup our funding mechanisms here in Los Angeles County with our tax bases and our requests from the voters, and they graciously granted us the excess revenues, which we were able to become compliant with the dues that we all pay into the Council of Governments. But with the economy the way it is and the expense of everything going up, they're going to look to increase the fee structure in a modest amount of $10,000 to the 4 entities that contribute to that. So it looks like $41,000 annually to $50,000 for this next coming year, 2023. And then again, the rest of the programs are strong. They are continuing to move forward with the Council of Governments, and that's all I have for you, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Tony Hess.
On the 23rd and 24th, Commissioner Felix Lopez and I attended the National Association of Counties here. Was hosted by Adams County, by here in Colorado, and I'll let the chair of CCI speak on that. And at 3 o'clock on the 24th, we also had a Southeast Colorado opioid region meeting, and Felix is the vice chair of that, so I'll let him report on that one also. On the 25th of July, we had a Rat Fest meeting with Jennifer, what's her last name? Bradley, or whatever, with the Rat Fest. Go ahead.
Stan and Jenny.
Yeah, Tim. Anyway, the conversation revolved around the concerns in the ranching community and what happened with the last one, and we're doing what we can to make corrections to that. Mainly more porta potties, different locations for different rest areas, taking all of those hazards into consideration. Their EOC plan needs to be up and running, and also she needs to have those individual meetings with those ranchers in the area, farmers, so that they know what to expect on that day, which is October 8th. And they did move the schedule for the event from the beginning day of antelope season to the final day of that season, which is October 8th. There's conversation about moving the date for the race to sometime in May, which wouldn't interfere with the hunting seasons, and that would be great. And a lot of the ranchers were excited about that. The outfitters and Offholder and the other game wardens were excited about that also. Takes that risk and liability out of that equation and reduces it, quite effectively. I was on the meeting with the Southern Colorado Transportation meeting, and I'm concerned that New Elk coal mine could work more efficiently and effectively, and they can make money at this too. The weight restrictions that are on that bridge reduce the amount of coal that they can haul per truck to half capacity. And when you're running all the way down to Jensen and then back up, it takes the profit margin and reduces it significantly. And we want them to succeed. And that was my concern that I addressed to them, that they need to put that on the priority list and keep it there. And we'll see what they do, but that was my concern. On August 1st, that was yesterday, we had the New Elk mine update. They're operating 2 production units now. They've had some exciting times up there. I guess the roof had caved in on it a time or two, and they're working to figure out how to control that and stabilize those areas when they're working in that mine. Nobody's been injured, so they're trying to do their due diligence there. They're probably their biggest concern right now is workforce and keeping them here in Los Angeles County and in the Trinidad area. They're using out-of-state workers, and so they're looking for that housing. They're looking for apartments and that sort of thing. They've got a backlog of coal stacked at Jensen, and that was a concern. I guess it was due to the pandemic. Burlington Northern lost a lot of employees, and that reduced the amount of trains and workers that they had. So Union Pacific is trying to pick up the slack and waiting for those workers to come back. There's no timeline on the rail system for the mine at this point either. Funding is always a problem, and the cost of that rail is going to be $45 million, and so they're looking pretty hard for that funding.
Thank you, sir. I wanted to give a big shout out to the county fair. If you didn't get an opportunity to stop by, it was a great success. So congratulations to all the county fair board and to all the participants, and our youth made it tremendous. The sales Saturday night was extremely well attended. We had visitors from other counties just excited to see what went on. So this is the future, not only of our state, but ag and all the initiatives that are sponsored and supported through the county fair. Congratulations to everyone. Touching a couple of issues, the bridge that the mine was speaking of is the bridge that is exactly just east of the mine. It was designated right on Highway 12, a historical bridge. So we don't know exactly what that means for CDOT in finding the funding and continue to keep it historical, but for the traffic on that particular one, the weight restrictions are creating a little bit of a challenge. So the NACO, National Association of Counties, yes, it happened last week, an incredible conference. I had an opportunity as the Colorado president to welcome the board, and I believe we have participants from all 50 states. It was just a great opportunity. I want to highlight one of the initiatives that was voted unanimously by the board, of which I'm part of, at the national level. It's one of the initiatives to recognize our veterans throughout the United States. We believe that the veterans have been not paid attention the way they need to. So a retired colonel, introduced an initiative, a resolution that later on I'm working directly already with our veteran service officer, Ray Odom, here in Los Angeles County, so he can get involved with that. On Veterans Day, basically letting our communities know that we support our veterans and connecting them with the services. Here in Los Angeles County, we have in excess of 1,500 veterans, and for so many of them, they don't have the medical services within the county. They have to travel to Albuquerque and or Denver, Pueblo. So we want to alleviate the process by creating a network of supporters, and we believe that the San Luis County and our community will do that. What this colonel came up with an idea is putting a green light on your house on the week that we celebrate veterans, meaning Operation Green Light is that we support the veterans by showing our green light. And so what the National Association of Counties, through a funding, they're going to be sending out light bulbs to counties. So obviously we put the San Luis County, our name in there. If they give us so many light bulbs, we will pass them out to our VSO. And that's one of the highlights that of all the issues that were spoken of, that was one of the ones that unanimously 100% of all of us that voted supported that initiative. Within the National Association of Counties, our board meeting was very, very exciting, should I say, because resolutions from different states, we get to vote on them. A lot of behavioral health initiatives, gun control, even to the point of addressing some of the national legislation that is impacting counties. So if you would like to take a look at, we'll ask our team to put that information on our website so you can go back and see the agenda. It was a 3-day conference, very exciting. And then, of course, on Sunday, we selected a new second vice president, a gentleman from California that's going to become the president of National Association of Counties in 3 years. The rotation is there. So that gave Colorado an opportunity to give a welcome, which I was honored to give a welcome to the states and speak on behalf of our 64 counties here in Colorado. So real quick, let me address a couple more issues. Commissioner Tony has mentioned about the CCOR, the opioid settlement group, the 9 counties that we're working with. Los Angeles County opted out, meaning that the money that was going to be allocated for Los Angeles County, we are going to be using that money at the regional level. Because we feel that if we put those dollars at the regional level, the initiatives that we're going to be doing from education and post, if you will, treatment for individuals that have been addicted to opioids, we can do a whole lot more by working as a region. Our dollars will go a little bit further, and so we're going to be using a lot of the infrastructure that already exists. Pueblo County is one of the partners, so we'll be working very, very closely with Pueblo for some of the detox facilities. But as far as education, we believe that we have enough opportunity here. And then, of course, the treatment that we could be getting through by hiring with the mass of the 9 counties. The last week, CU Board of Regents was in San Luis County. They came to Trinidad, and I was invited to attend the meeting. They're doing a tour statewide, asking what is going on with your community, how can we work with your community to expand educational opportunities for students. Great conversation, and in it, one of the issues that was talked about is enrollments. And enrollments pretty much throughout higher ed either stay the same or decreased. And so the question was, why do we think is that? And possibly because the opportunity of getting enrolled online. So, those online opportunities, now some of the students may not be interested in traveling to the brick and mortar buildings, but they also had a meeting with Trinidad State, and hopefully they'll be able to provide the coursework either online or face-to-face via some of the faculty here to create transfer and completion degrees out of Trinidad State. And so very, very, very great conversation. That would be my report. And so if any one of you later on has any questions, there is a sign-up sheet up there, and I was reminded that perhaps some of you may not know, but if there is a section here for public comment, if you would like to address the Board of County Commissioners, sign up and we'll be more than glad to call you. So at this point in time, we're going to go to section 4, elected officials updates. Do we have Ms. Amado, County Assessor, would you have any updates for us?
I always have updates. Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
How's everybody today?
Very well.
Good. Okay, we just received an email this morning that Los Animas County passed their 2022 state mandated audit. So we passed with flying colors, and so our office is doing our job in accordance with the law, and has been found to be statistically compliant and correct. So I have to congratulate and thank my staff and everyone that works hard every year to make sure that we are following Colorado statutes and we do not get reappraisal orders. So that was it's probably why the power went out. I was trying to open that email and the power went out. I went, no, this is a good omen. We are currently still in a holding pattern. We are going to be having some more meetings on August 10th with the state and all 64 counties and our computer developers about House Bill 22-1416 and Senate Bill 22-238. That House Bill 22-1416 is the mobile home exemption we will have to put in place this year. We are still trying to figure out what that looks like. The state is still trying to interpret the language of the law. That way we can get with our computer programmers so we can ensure that we have this correct and we are meeting the definition of what this House bill is supposed to do. Because we have to have our abstracts of assessment out by August 25th to every entity. So we are in crunch time again, but that's what assessors do. We work best under pressure. So we are hoping to have a clear definition and some clear direction to give to our computer programmers so we can ensure that we are exempting the 28,000 and less mobile homes off our tax roll for this year. Then you're having another meeting for Senate Bill 22-238 to discuss next year's exemptions and assessment rate changes and how that will look and what we need to do in order to make that function within our systems.
So Ms. Mago, that's based on 28,000 of assessed valuation?
That's actual value.
Actual value. So anything above that will still be on the tax?
Will still be on the tax roll. That will leave approximately, we're doing calculations by hand, but that'll probably leave approximately 58 to 65 taxable mobile homes within the county.
What's that dollar amount?
We don't know yet. As soon as I get a system to help compile that, we will get that to you. I'll be sending them probably in emails, so keep your eyes out. Other than that, that's all I have for this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Let me call on, do we have anyone from our clerk and recorder's office? Ms. Vigil? Mr. Mestas? Okay. Let's go to our county treasurer, Ms. Leonetti.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The real estate at top right now is we're switching over the credit card system from point and pay to automation. We've had a few issues with point and pay, and that should be up and running sometime this week. And that's about all I have right now.
Thank you. And hopefully you're going to stay on the line with us for this section later on.
Yes, that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. District Attorney's Office, Mr. Solano. Sheriff's Office, Mr. Navarrete.
Good morning, Commissioner. The update is the fire ordinance, but we'll discuss that later in the agenda.
Thank you, sir. County Coroner, Mr. Tony Berger. And our County Surveyor, Mr. Gary Terry. Okay. Public comment, do we have anyone sign up?
No, perhaps not.
Okay. Would you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Don Albertson. I work for Spanish Peaks Purgatory River Conservation District through a noxious weed grant provided by the CDA. My salary is a combination of grant and the district. I worked in this position for 5 years. I've been supervised by Shelley Simmons. Last fall, Shelley broke away from the district to take on a teaching job. That left me managing all programs, so here's an overview of what I do. I manage the Russian knapweed program that was initiated in 2018. This last winter we sprayed 124 acres. For my recruitment of 22 per K program, it's going to have about 120 acres. And that program is full already. The district does add to these grant monies, sponsored by the CDA. The locations of the Russian knapweed programs are Mataloni and El Moro. Since 2018, we have placed 631 acres in this program. It is a 5-year program with a contract. This spring, I released some Russian knapweed gall wasps on private property, places I felt it should not be sprayed, or on individuals that are just not going to spray the Russian knapweed. We do have some establishment of biocontrol in the model area, a fungus that has affected quite a bit of Russian knapweed, the gall wasp, and a gall midge. Continuing with these biological releases, the Conservation District purchased a subscription through the Palisade Insectary, and that allows me to purchase more biocontrol agents to fight weed issues. So I placed bindweed mites in the Honey and El Moro area this June. In July, I placed musk thistle weevils, and in the Trujillo Creek area with seedbed feeding weevils for diffuse knapweed in Maurice. I'm hoping that these agents are going to take off and make an impact. The district sponsors a noxious weed program, which is a dollar-for-dollar match up to $1,000 at this point in time, meaning that you as a landowner can recoup $500 back from the district in order to somewhat help with herbicide costs. It's a yearly program. Anyone within the district can participate if they have weeds deemed noxious by the state of Colorado. This is a yearly program and they can sign up for up to 5 years. I am required to map these areas and place them in a mapping program called NMAPS, designed by the University of Georgia. I currently have 4,608 acres with 22 producers under this program. It's revolving. It was turned in last year's paperwork in order to enroll again. This is a very popular program. I have people inquire about this daily. I manage, spray, and map African rue within the county, and to the best of my knowledge, we are the only county within the state that has this species. This is a List A species. The CDA has marked this for eradication. This year, the CDA Noxious Weed Program grant allotted extra money to help me eliminate this plant. A commercial sprayer was hired. 106 hours later, 2,279 gross acres covered with 2 rigs to spot spray African rue patches. I had the CDA Early Detection Rapid Response Team covering approximately 93 acres. There's a looning drainage. This specific area that we targeted this year has been hit and miss spray because of its vast acres infected with African rue, and this year marks the first year I've had a dedicated sprayer. I'm hoping for an 80 to 90% kill on this site so that we can move on to other sites. I myself sprayed 33 acres covering 626 acres of terrain from north of Highway 50 on County Road 86 to the model area east along the Looning and south to County Road 38. This is a reduction in numbers from past years, and I personally have continually reduced the number of acres in these known sites. New patches are being found every year by the landowners that have this plant on their acres. At this point, we're winning battles, but the war is still raging. This is not a one-and-done process. All sites must be visited again and again to prevent reinfestation. Here comes the sad news. At this point in time, 2.5 gallons of Polaris, which is the chemical that we use, is $365.25 per jug. We used 40 cases this last year. Last year, it was $133.25. Unfortunately, every chemical or herbicide is minimal, and a lot like that has driven the price up. So today, a rough estimate for the year of 2023, that's going to cost about $30,000. That's kind of including shipping. I will be able to request this money, some of this money from the CDA, but I don't think they'll foot the entire bill. They will want to match that money. They'll want to see a match. Mr. Lucero told me he had some money left over from a former grant. I don't know if the grant has expired. I do not know the amount, but I feel if it's left and we can use it, it should be looked into, and Polaris should be ordered now before it goes to $400 a jug. There's not enough stock left for the 2023 season. Per the state of Colorado grant, I'm required to map all projects, put them into ArcGIS or an Excel form, and submit them to NMAPS, the National Invasive Species ID program developed by the University of Georgia. Then into individual files with photographs, draw up contracts, and keep in a running account of who sprayed what, where, and when with all these programs. I'm actively recruiting Tamarask and Russian Olive landowners for removal and restoration of the Purgatory River. This grant money is from Ducks Unlimited, no ties to the CDA grant, and will be managed by Shelley Simmons. I am paid from that grant when I work on this project. The City of Trinidad has myrtle spurge in their flower boxes. I spent this last fall and early spring mapping and contacting homeowners to inform them of this plant. I distributed PPE, gallon sprayers, and herbicide for the eradication of this list species within our county. The City of Trinidad paid for that time spent. There was no right-of-way spray last year, and that was unfortunately what a year not to spray. Unfortunately, every viable noxious weed seed sprouted. That seems to be the scenario this year. Suddenly, areas that have been sprayed for 3 consecutive years, 2 years ago, have come back. I am disappointed that the county has not signed or responded to the IGA that was signed by the district and sent to Mr. Barcap. If there is something in the agreement that is controversial, I would hope that the county could respond towards this agreement so we can move forward. The district this year allowed another $4,275 to add to the $10,000 that was in the IGA pledged from the county, making that $14,275,000. Using an estimated $110 a mile per mile with a commercial sprayer, that's an estimated 129 miles of right-of-way that we could be treated. I'm not an employee of the county, but I'm constantly being asked, why is the county not spraying instead of cutting weeds and throwing seeds onto my land? I'm just a messenger, but as a landowner, that is a valid question. I spoke of my maps and such. These are some of the maps that I do send to the CDA. My noxious weed program. These are pamphlets and books that are given to each noxious weed applicant. I do have some of those. I only brought one today. Just some examples of what I am doing. In closing, I mentioned the many programs being run here. They have gained the attention of the CDA. Shelley Simmons is the individual responsible for this notoriety. I personally feel blessed that I've worked with Shelley. At the same time, I am a bit stressed. Those are big shoes to fill. She did all the books and the records, and I did the groundwork. In my opinion, we are one of the top areas in the state that offers up producer programs. That being said, the CDA expects this county and district to continue those programs with clear intent of eliminating African root and offering hands-up weed control programs for landowners. I thank you for your time. Please consider the IGA and please respond to me in some form. I have not spoken with Mr. Lucero concerning purchases. He did mention that he thought he still had money and that was where it was left. Thank you. Questions?
Yeah, Chairman, thank you for coming on it today. We spoke last week at the county fair. How can the public reach you to have concerns regarding some of the programs? What's the best contact for you?
I am on the district website. It would not insult me one bit. I'm to be on other websites or otherwise. I know they do call Bob. They call the extension office. And it trickles down to me. I'll have people show up or phone calls.
And for the public, your office is located below the movie picture show house, right?
Yes, sir. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to do section 5, public 6, presentations. I don't believe we have any. Dorica.
No, sir.
Unfinished business, consideration of health campus map, and we have our city of Trinidad representatives.
Good morning, commissioners and staff. Sorry for missing the last meeting of miscommunication. So when the Mount San Rafael Hospital decided to do their expansion on the facility, it triggered the part of our code that requires the property to be zoned correctly. It also triggered plating requirements and vacate requirements. So what we have today is a request for the commissioners to consider the final plat. This provides for the subdivision of what's known as the hospital campus. The city has already approved rezoning of the property. It was a non-conforming zoning previously. Now it conforms to our code. This involved also the health department's property, and we would ask for your consideration in the final plat signing today.
I think, by this time, Dorica, we have reviewed, our council have reviewed the proposed drawings and also to remain as separate from the health district that composes town, correct? I mean, we are located out there, but certainly not part of the same group.
And correct me if I'm wrong, council, but I think in front of the board today is your consideration of the approval of these maps. And these maps, in my opinion, are accurate. Ongoing communication with the city about deeds, etc. Those are a separate matter.
Very good.
And if I may, Chairman, Council of the Governments has gone through this as well. We've been in contact with them. So that board approved the maps as well. There was some question with COG on one of the corners with the lower lot down below where the bus barn was, but that's been resolved. I think there was an alleyway in there. So the Council of Governments moved forward with the maps as well.
The only thing, Commissioner, I would point out is that the signature line, unless it's changed, has Alicia Lopez as the chair. And I believe the city can address, I think, what you were talking about, is to strike that and put
That's correct. And at this point, these are Mylars. They're the final documents that get recorded for the plat. So we would ask just for a strike through and a correction, and then your signatures.
Council.
In the, what Mr. Garcia said is correct, we're just considering the maps themselves as they're drawn, and I have construction the maps.
Very good. Any other comments? Yes. None from me. I will entertain a motion at this time.
Motion to approve the health campus map.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you can just leave them right there and give them something.
Did you want us to?
Unless you guys want to.
Yeah, we can sign it. Why don't we do that? Then you have to come back.
Thank you. There's two spaces for.
I think all three of them.
They have the marker there.
Yes, yes.
And then is she also
Need a chart?
I believe she is. The testing is.
I can come back.
Joe, no, how many takes Joe to come down?
You can actually do it.
Okay. Let me see Joe come down.
Look at that.
That's very good.
A green tea. Green tea. It's still in the code, it's still in the code. It's still the same green and
You have this as well.
That is a decision that. What is that? They want you to test the maps. That the maps that they want you to test them, like he's not even.
Oh, it goes right here, okay. I thought you looked green. The campus with
So, I'm going to come back. She'll come back. He says that getting ready
Thank you.
He just looked at it and says I just need a report about it. Thank you.
Well, Joe's gonna come to, Joe has to get you a test. We'll take care of that. Is he coming now?
No, no, they're not here, but they'll have to come back.
Okay.
They're not in the building side.
Okay.
We'll leave him here and then he'll call. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. When he gets
Thank you.
here, tell him to come in and get a test.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, resuming the meeting, we're going to go to section 8, consideration of SC-REDAC RETAC alternate appointment. Mr. Coruscant.
Commissioner, before you for your consideration is Southern Colorado RETAC alternate appointment. Administrative Assistant Paula Descarrow submitted or requested anybody who is interested in the position to submit letters. She posted as per required, et cetera, et cetera. We have one letter of interest from David Trey, which is part of your packet.
Any questions, Commissioners? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the Southern Colorado Retail Alternate Appointment with David L.
Second motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes.
I'd like to add just Deputy Chief Dutray was the fire chief during the spring fire that we did a really good job during that time. So glad to see him moving forward in the process of this retail.
Congratulations to them, and thank you. 8D, consideration of unleaded fuel bid. Mr. Dorncap.
Commissioner, before you for your consideration are the unleaded fuel bid. For some reason, I can't open that. Give me just a minute here, please.
I have a hard copy of the data.
Randy's,
Yeah, Brandon said the,
Okay, I believe I have. For the unleaded fuel, we solicited the delivery of 8,000 gallons to our fairgrounds facilities with the following results: Lahana Valley Oil, $3.05 per gallon, sales price $24,400. Acorn Petroleum, $2.77, $2.770606 per gallon, sales price $22,208. 48 cents for oil fuel, no bid. Wallace Oil, no bid. Durant Oil, no bid. So that's the board to approve Acorn Petroleum Inc.'s bid of $2.770606 per gallon, sales price $22,208.48.
thank you, sir. Commissioners, any discussion, any questions? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve unleaded fuel bid to Acorn Petroleum in the amount of $2.77606 per gallon, with a standard price of $22,208.48.
second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. Consideration, 8C, consideration of diesel fuel bid. Mr. Dorncap.
Commissioners, again, we solicited the delivery of 7,200 gallons of diesel fuel to our fairgrounds facility with the following results: Lahana Valley Oil, $3.82 per gallon, sales price $27,504. And Acorn Petroleum, $3.754 per gallon, sales price $27,028.80. For oil fuel, no bid. Wallace Oil, no bid. Durant Oil, no bid. I ask the board to approve Acorn Petroleum's bid, $3.754 per gallon, sales price $27,028.80.
Any comments, questions, discussion, Commissioners? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
Move for approval of the diesel fuel bid from Acorn Petroleum for $3.754 per gallon to $27,028.80.
Second.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes. 8C, consideration of division of aeronautics discretionary aviation resolution. Mr. Dorncap.
Commissioners, before you, for your considerations, Colorado Division of Aeronautics Discretionary Aviation Resolution. It's a resolution that dovetails and is part of our taxiway improvement. I think last meeting or the meeting before, the board approved a similar grant with the FAA, and this is with the City of Aeronautics for that same project. So that's the board to approve.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, any discussion, any questions?
We have the funding available for a mobile cash match.
I did budget for it. I did.
Other than that, any questions?
Sir, Commissioner Hess, no questions?
No questions.
I will entertain a motion.
Motion motion to approve the aeronautics discretionary aviation grant.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. 8E, consideration of revoking the Will and Prime Contract Change Order Number 1, approved by the Board July 25, 2022. Mr. Darlington.
Commissioner, before you for consideration is the revocation of Wilden Prime Contract Change Order Number 1 that the board approved at your last meeting. There were some edits that needed to be made to that change order, so I ask the board to revoke this change order.
Dollar amount fluctuation.
A little less on the dollar amount plus a new total grant price.
Commissioners, any questions? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the revoking Will and Prime contract change order number 1, which was approved by the board July 25th, 2022.
Second motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes. 8F, consideration of amended prime contract change order number 1. Ballistic windows, new contract sum that includes adding interior and exterior ballistic windows and contract time extension. Mr. Darlington.
Commissioner, before you for your consideration is a revised is a prime contract number 1, where the interior and exterior ballistic windows are added to the overall overall project cost, and the reduction of it in the original change order number from $306,000 to $296,262. And that included the 20% contractor fee for Wilden. And that was based upon the new sum of $296 and not the old sum of $306. And then the increase from the $1,489,216 contract to $1,785,478 contract, and a time extension of 210 days because of the issues with getting materials for windows in this case.
So the $80,500 credit that we're getting in there is not for the initial window order?
The $8,500 credit ran time key, the window contractor first submitted an estimate. They had 2 mobilization costs. They had mobilization costs for the installation of the exterior windows and mobilization costs for the interior windows. And our deal was you put them both in at the same time and we lower the costs. So that's why the $8,500 reduction. And then they spun that to 20% and they readjusted the total window contract and then the total contract plus the time extension.
So they have not manufactured the windows as
No, sir, they will not manufacture those windows until
very good.
change order is signed.
Very good.
And I did speak to, or did email underfunded, about the extension, or both grants are due, I think, this December. And underfunded said, let us know and they will extend it. I probably need to do something with DOLA. Because DOLA, I think, is the grant isn't very much, but I think they want to know the whole project is done. It's in the project, and so we'll probably have to get another extension on DOLA. But underfunded sounded like they were okay if we had to go into the spring. Just as that.
So you,
Thank you, whoever caught that $8,500 difference. Double bill for never,
8,500 is 8,500.
you're right, that's a lot of money. Thank you for finding that.
well, and even at the grand total, again, from the initial conversations with the 296, it's a few numbers less. So we appreciate that. And would you have to get a director of finance or anything in writing from DOLA?
I will probably have to do a letter
Okay.
and everything. Like I said, I had informed underfunded where we were at as the project as a second quarter.
Okay.
And I did tell her, she said, if we need an extension, just let us know. But we're probably definitely have to do more. So I can get that paperwork together to be ahead.
Thank you so much. Commissioners, any other questions? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the amended prime contract change order number 1 ballistic windows. For the new contract, that includes any interior and exterior ballistic windows, and contract time extension.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. 18, consideration of liquor license renewal for Ringo Super Trading Post. Mr. John Kenna or council?
Commissioners, I have reviewed this application and it is complete.
Ma'am? Commissioners, any questions? Twice, entertain a motion.
Move for approval of the liquor license renewal for Ringo Superstar Training.
Second motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. 8H, consideration of public trustees second quarter report. Ms. Leonetti?
Yes,
The public trustees second quarter report, do we have any questions? Would you like to add anything to the documents that you submitted?
no, it's basically the same quarterly report every 4 months, so if you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer.
Commissioners?
I have no questions.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the public trustees second quarter report.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. 8I, consideration of LACBCC number 7000, a treasurer's purge. I'm going to read these, we're going to do this as a consent item. MS Forest LLC, Maritanda, $264.78. MS Forest LLC, Maritanda, for $1,643.90. Black Hills Energy Inc., $138.80. Amador Robert R., $11.56. Black Hills Energy Inc., $106.80. United States of America Indian Canyon Manure Site, $5.44. United States of America Indian Canyon Manure Site, $68.60. Farnham William E., $5,091.88 plus interest. Shane Ruth L., $19,160.61. Holgi Carlos, $10.16. Shihor Charles, $365.68. Real Logistics Inc., Property Tax Department, $17.35. Dixon Michael, $141.43. Acosta Moises and Abby, $2,296.21. The total amount is $29,323.20. Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Leonetti?
Chairman, I spoke with Ms. Leonetti prior to this morning's meeting, and basically some of these are by statute have to be completed and moving forward this time, including the large amount of the loose Shin property that has been over 30 years, and by statute this is what is before us today. Is that correct, Ms. Leonetti?
yes, correct. Most of these are just going to be basically cleaning up the tax roll. That the assessor's office deleted from account, so I have to ask permission by LACBCC to get it off the tax roll. So basically just cleaning, and the one that is under Shin Roof, by statute, we have to cancel the certificate and take the taxes off the tax roll. And then we can start fresh again with maybe 2021 taxes and start all over again. And I'm going to have several of those I need to get to so we can clean it up. Because this roof Shin county health certificate is 35 years, and by statute it's supposed to be deleted after 30. So there'll be some more of those coming up eventually.
One question, Donna, this is Tony. The William Farnham is the only one that's plus interest. Why is that?
The DOT is the certificate holder, and he needs to get his interest back what he paid into that account.
So Donna, what happens when you say that on this particular, on the large one, that now we have 35 years and we're going to start afresh? If we haven't basically collected since 1986, what processes do we have going forward?
Well, for example, maybe on this one, hopefully, her son, Ruth's in her 60s, she's been deceased for years, and it was never changed over to anybody else. Or when she sold the house on Kingdom Street way back in the day, they didn't buy, whoever bought the house didn't buy the lot. So the lot, nobody wanted to pick them up, so naturally they went and stuck them off to the county. So maybe we start fresh now with 2021 taxes. We're hoping that her son will go to probate court, get it in his name that way, that he can maintain those lots, or either get it in his name and now to the owners of that house next door.
That would make sense. Commissioners, any other questions? Otherwise, I will make a motion to approve all those OBCCs as listed for the amount of $29,323.20.
Move for approval of OBCC number 7,000, the treasurer's purge of the total amount of $29,323.20.
Second.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Commissioner Felix.
Yes. Item 8J, consideration of OBCC number 7001 to Patricia Licara for $100. Commissioner, this is coming from our clerk recorder, and you will page 125. Any questions?
Looks like it's just a vehicle registration, reimbursement or payment. I have no questions.
Thank you, sir. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve OBCC number 7001 for Patricia Licata for $100.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Felix.
Yes, sir. Item 8K, consideration of stage 1 fire restriction. We're going to go to Sheriff Derek Navarro.
Good morning, Commission. Again, we had a meeting with the fire chiefs in our monthly meeting for July. The discussion of the fire stage was discussed and it was agreed and voted upon due to the conditions, the better conditions we've had throughout the county with the moisture and getting the members present did vote to move that back to the stage 1. So if we could formally get that back in place, it was agreed upon to do so.
Thank you, sir. And one quick question, if you would. What exactly going from stage 2 to stage 1 does it mean for the general population?
It means we can go back to campfires as long as they are covered. The stage 2 is prohibiting all that, so we could actually go back to the outdoor, but as long as it's covered, that's the main change, I believe, so we can, if that's in place at the next level.
Charcoal as well. There'll be charcoal cooked in as well, sure.
Yeah, sodium charcoal, as long as that breaks or covers, those will be allowed once again. And, that affects the state parks in different areas, so that'll be back in place if it is agreed to be changed.
Thanks, sir.
Commissioner Tony, have some questions? Okay, Mr. Dorrington, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of Warren County Commission of Los Angeles County, Colorado, restoring to a stage 1 fire restrictions, returning to a stage 1 fire restrictions within unincorporated Los Angeles County. Resolution number 22-027, whereas pursuant to CRS 30-14-401, N.5, the Los Angeles County Board of Commissioners has the general power and authority to adopt a resolution as deemed necessary for the control of open fires and to establish restrictions that may be necessary to protect the health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of Los Angeles County. Whereas Mercer recently received has reduced Los Angeles County's susceptibility to wildfire incidents. Whereas County Sheriff Derek Everett, in his capacity as County Fire Warden, is authorized under provision of CRS 30-10-512 and CRS 30-10-513 to assume forest and/or prairie fire management. Whereas changing fire conditions require that restrictions to be established and implemented as to mitigate as much as practical the threat of fire to the citizens and the property within Los Angeles County. Whereas on June 27, 2022, the Los Angeles County Fire Chiefs Association voted unanimously to recommend to the Los Angeles County Board of County Commissioners to move from a stage 2 to a stage 1 fire restrictions. And whereas Los Angeles County Board of County Commissioners believe that based on the fire chiefs and fire wardens / Sheriff Derek Navarrete's recommendation on available wildland fire information, including the wildland fire outlook rating established by the National Interagency Fire Center Predictive Services, it is prudent to reduce the current stage 2 fire restriction to a stage 1 fire restriction throughout Los Angeles County. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, by 1. Los Angeles County hereby returns to a stage 1 fire restriction that includes the banning of all open fires within Los Angeles County with the following allowances. And all permitted activities shall be diligently supervised and never left unattended in A. Campfires, warming fires, charcoal fires, and permitted fire rings with covering grades located within a developed commercial campground or picnic ground or on public property. B. LP gas or liquid fuel stoves and appliances which allow the operator to turn the flame on and off. C. Fireplaces within enclosed buildings which are equipped with adequate spark arresters. D. Combustion engines, all-terrain vehicles, and/or chainsaws with adequate spark arresters and all types of blowers with a spotter, provided that the operator has him or her pressurized chemical fire extinguisher no less than 5 pounds of capacity, a size O or larger, round-pointed shovel with an overall length of no less than 36 inches, and a container of water no less than 5 gallons. The use of combustion engines and chainsaws shall conclude by 4 p.m. each day in the site where such equipment has been used shall be monitored for a minimum of 1 hour following the conclusion of use. E. Smoking and tobacco products in open non-combustible areas of no less than 5 foot radius in conformance with other applicable laws, including the Clean Indoor Air Act of 2006, and shall include proper disposable cigarette and cigar butts. F. Burning vegetative waste is permitted only upon the issuance of a valid controlled burn permit issued by the Los Angeles County Fire Warden and authorized fire protection district. Agricultural burns must also have valid controlled burn permit from Fire Warden and Fire Protection District have jurisdiction. By state statute definition, an agricultural burn is the burning of non-woody vegetation in irrigation ditches and/or cultivated fields by an agricultural producer. Burning conditions may vary in different areas of the county as current field conditions, fuel types, and the amount of precipitation received is not uniform. No burning will be conducted on red flag or fire weather watch days as issued by NOAA. G. Fire suppression activities undertaken by fire suppression agencies utilizing any or all types of fire controls to mitigate fire dangers and/or combat wildfires as permitted, as determined prudent and necessary. H. Any large-scale fire mitigation and construction-related project or any activity that will require the use of large equipment must have no less than 200 gallons of water available at the project site and arrange for fire suppression through that associated fire protection district or arrange for on-site district-approved outside fire suppression source for a private contractor input. 2. The use of exploding targets is prohibited unless fire approval is obtained from the Los Angeles County Fire Warden and authorized by the Fire Protection District. 3. The use of cracker shells and sprinklers provided by the Division of Parks and Wildlife for use in irrigated land is allowed with prior approval from Los Angeles County Fire Ward and Authorized Fire Protection District. 4, all orders, resolutions, bylaws, and regulations of the county or parts thereof inconsistent with this resolution are hereby repealed to the extent only of such inconsistencies. On a motion made and second, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this second day of August 2022. Order of the Board of County Commissioners, Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature.
Thank you, sir. For the record, I may have heard on one of the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on the 5 whereas on July 27, 2022, you may have read on June 27, so
My apologies.
no, I just wanted to verify that. And also on section F, the second line, burning of vegetables waste permitted only upon the issuance of valid control. And then on my, it says BUM, we're missing the letter R. Maybe.
I'm not so sure, Commissioner, it says bum there and it says bum on the references the other, but I'm not so sure that it's enough fonts used together because of the transcripts, but yes, bum is used twice.
Yes, I just wanted to point that out, that I had those 2 items highlighted there. So anyway, Commissioners, any other questions, comments? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval of the stage 1 fire receipts.
Second motion with a big thank you and much respect to our fire chiefs and our special districts. Please pass on that comment to Sheriff Navarrete to all of our fire personnel in Los Angeles County. Second motion.
Commissioner Reese Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes, and again, thank you, and I know that depending on the motion that we receive in August, we may be back later on considering going out to stage 2, so at this point in time, that's what we're going to manage this fire mitigation process. So, section 9, financial matters, consideration of bills and payroll for the second half of July 2022. Finance Director, Public.
Payroll as of July 31st is $180,514.14. Do I have any questions on that?
I see you have on the bills. You've got a new car.
Bills paid on July 20th, let's see, $340,707.99. Within this package, Armstrong, we paid them their first payment, and that was for project development of $8,810. Our new vehicle for $29,452. Fisher's Peak Study, we paid them $28,043.20, and Grant 9342, $136,512. Bills paid on July 27th, $107,863.97. And these are just ordinary bills. Nothing. That's it. That's what I have.
Any questions, any discussion on this? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to approve the financials.
Motion approved. Bills and payroll for the second half of July 2022.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes. Section 10, executive session. The board will meet in executive session under CRS 24-6402, parentheses 4P, conferring with the county attorney for the purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions. Item A, Highway 12. B, courthouse vacant room usage. At this point in time, I will ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting and go into executive session with a 5 or 10 minute recess.
Move to adjourn this meeting. Move to executive session. 10-minute recess.
Second.
Commissioner Reese Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us this morning.